Okay, so Sagittarius, this is a career and ambition, a snapshot of what's going on in this 2-week forecast of the waxing moon from the new moon in Pisces right the way through to the total lunar eclipse on the 14th of March is a big one. So what I'm focusing on this forecast for is more about identifying opportunities, boosting productivity. Like, how can you get that pizzazz back in what you're working on, which could also bring in some more money for you. Very much about how you're navigating challenges right now. If there's some workplace dynamics or conflict that's showing up, why and how can you release that? And then also a quick checkup about your finances. So, this is a little list which you may have seen if you've looked at my love forecast or the overall forecast. But in this particular one, I want to pay more attention to your second house, which is all about money and how it comes in, and also how happy you are to receive it. And also your 10th house, which has a lot to do with your career. Now, the 10th house is actually where the total lunar eclipse in Virgo is going to be, which is a full moon. It's big. So this is definitely going to be stirring a lot of things up in the next 2 weeks. And I do think your money is definitely going to be stirred up in that. Bearing in mind that the new moon in Pisces is starting in the 4th, the moon is taking this very outward journey. She's coming to a very kind of outward public facing part of your chart. I think as the waxing moon continues, as we go through that phase, things are going to get busier and busier, and a lot more opportunities to make money are going to come in. Now, the ruler of your second house, Saturn, and the ruler of your 10th house is Mercury. And it just so happens that they are in a conjunction together in your 4th house in the sign of Pisces. Now, they're not a million miles away from this new moon. So I do think they have that kind of new moon potential around them. So I'm going to kind of confidently, from my perspective, I think there is this lovely new moon energy to do with Saturn and Mercury working together. Moreover, seeing as just a couple of days later, Mercury's exactly in a conjunction with the North Node, and then later in an exact conjunction with Neptune, I'm going to say like all 4 of these appear to be working together quite well. So Mercury and Saturn coming together, Saturn is giving us form and shape. Saturn is quite respectable, it's pretty ambitious, but is bringing us a sense of outcome. Now, Saturn can be a great big party pooper as well. He's not like one of the most loved planets. If you were to talk to most people, people would be giving a great big thumbs down to Saturn. But I can see that with some measure and discernment and decorum, Saturn can be really useful. It really shows us, and again, I'm a Sagittarius. I've got a real big tendency to ignore my Saturn quite a bit. I'm a little bit over. I'm a bit like a big Labrador, kind of sort of all over the place, But the Saturn energy is really trying to get you to be a bit more measured. But in the conjunction with Mercury, all of a sudden it feels like in this period you're working in your best way. Finally you're able to take your money making seriously, and you're able to communicate about it, which, I mean, that's brilliant, right? So it's not that you're doing great stuff and creating great products and working in a way that's fantastic, but not communicating those outcomes, or not communicating it. To me, that's the missing bit, but they are linked together. You're not just shyly sitting back, you're pushing yourself forwards. So Saturn is able to create these new ideas that are able to be communicated out in a big way. So I do think your visibility is about to go, how good is that, right? And then, the fact that they're so close to Neptune and the North Node, I do think anywhere where you're working in a way that's according to your soul's plan, if you believe in that, or you're working creatively, kindly, compassionately, you're feeling in alignment with, I guess I was saying something similar in the love forecast, what is at your core? What are you yearning for? Like, why were you born here? If you've got a sense that your career is working somehow on your mission, then Saturn and Mercury coming together with Neptune and the North Node is delicious and also very dreamy. but there's more. And this is the bit that I really, really love, because you can obviously create so much more if you are being very creative. And, you know, one of the sources of your creativity, you know, like the fifth house, I think, is a place where we are generating things that might lift us up. It's ruled by Mars, and Mars is going direct, but also Saturn and Mercury are connected to Mars. So I really think you've got the right psychology right now to be able to push forwards with your goals without shying back, without pulling you back, without letting too many of your self-sabotages play. So in this week ahead, or this 2 weeks ahead, I would say the really biggest moments, I think the new moon, big moment to set the scene and create something new. In particular, as Mercury is connecting with the North Node and Neptune, this is a great big kind of portal of energy for you to tap into. It's exquisite, really, really good. I really, really like the Sun trine Mars. That's exact on the 8th, because we're, you know, with that, it's really activating the sort of creative side of you. And also the Sun is ruling your 9th house, which helps you to get out further and further and to reach a new audience and to just, I don't know, it's expanded. So this is expanding your creativity, which I think will feed back beautifully into this. And then I really, really love Mercury in a conjunction to Venus on the 11th. Now, I want to just take a moment. I did explain some of this in the overall forecast for this period. You know, Venus is going retrograde on the 2nd. And, you know, Venus, like, yeah, she rules love. You know, she brings us in those loving, kind, related kind of experiences, but she is also about our flow of money, our flow of generosity, our flow of receivership. And so, yeah, she's going retrograde, but she's actually coming back. She's moving back towards Saturn. That's where she's going to stop and go direct. So it's quite interesting to me that the flow of money is being reviewed, but she is coming back into that kind of 2nd house energy. So anywhere where you've gone off half cocked, really feeling like you're raring to go, I actually still think you're still in a review. So whatever you're putting out there, be prepared to review it. Be prepared to shift and pivot on it, because in these 2 weeks, I think, and beyond that, you know, she's not going direct until the 13th of April. I think you might still need to pivot, and so be flexible. Don't pen yourself into a tight corner. Really don't, because you then might come to regret that. But feel free to create with wriggle room. To me, that seems like the sensible option. And then I really, really love from the 12th, Saturn and the Sun coming together. I'm just going to move the charts on so you get a better look at it. You know, again, this is really close to the North Node and Neptune. And by that time, Saturn and the Sun are both connected to Uranus. They're both, it's lovely. Now, at the time, obviously the eclipse is, you know, a whole week later in this chart, and it's up here. But you've got this real sort of powerhouse. So whatever is happening with this total lunar eclipse, and obviously I will be back with you with more forecasts just before that point. But this eclipse is going to be absolutely picking up on all the themes of divinity and what your soul is wanting to create in this life for you right now. But it's also really going to pick up on Saturn energy and the Sun energy and really help you to earn more money, but also start broadcasting about it. So there you go, Sagittarius. I hope that was useful for you in understanding these energies to a much deeper and more specific level. Loads and loads of love to you. Catch you another time. Bye for now.